yes, we had no money, but I was rich in many other things. And I think that separates me as an adult from a lot of people who claim to be successful. That I've got something that money cannot buy, and I know that is a privilege that I have to show kids that they too can have that. And it's not about tangible things in life. It's about what your blueprint is, what you do with your life for the next person, and sometimes things are bigger than you in this life.
Hey guys, welcome to The Hidden Heroes. This show is all about interviewing people who have discovered the hero within and have unleashed it out to the world. It is our mission, it is our goal to inspire each and every one of you to take massive action to live a life worthy of a hero. That is why we have here today the powerhouse Hlubi Mboya Arnold. Hlubi, as you might know her from acting in quite a few shows, a few of them being Isidingo, Mfolozi Street, Rhythm City, The Docket, and Strictly Come Dancing. If that wasn't enough, she's also an AIDS ambassador as well as a women empowerment activist. She's also appeared in many magazines, a few of them being True Love as well as Elle magazine. FHM has also ranked her top 100 most sexiest women in the world. Guys, it goes without saying, welcome Hlubi Mboya Arnold. Hlubi, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. We really do appreciate you coming over today to do this interview. So let's get right into it. You're quite passionate, you're quite dynamic, you're a go-getter. Have you always been like this? Or is this something that you had to cultivate, especially when you were a young child? Take us to when you were a young child, the upbringing. How exactly did that all start off?
I think what's made me a bold woman, somebody who's a go-getter. Firstly, thank you for having me. Sorry, let's come back. Thank you. I'm excited. I think what's molded me and grounded me and given me a great foundation to being a bold woman who is comfortable in her own skin, who speaks up for herself and other women, who has a faith in God, who is a believer in not punishing one for your mistakes, and who has learned independence from a young age, is my mother and her mother. I come from a very matriarchal family. Yes, my parents are still married, and I'm blessed to still have that and still say that at this age and this time and place in the world, where divorce happens all the time, and the concept of union and family has changed and evolved so much. My parents are still married, but my mother and my grandmother on both sides are matriarchs, and that can never be taken away from me, and that's what I want to give back to the world, and that's what I want to give back to my own kids when that day happens.
Fantastic. So let's speak about that. You mentioned that you are quite independent, and you sort of model that from your parents, more so your mom and your grandmother. Speak about a story that you sort of experienced where you noticed that Gran is independent, mom is independent, and that's something I need to do. Take us back to a story that you can share with us, just to give us a bit of an idea.
I think that I've come from an entrepreneurial background, and I think that's how it's been in my blood, and I discovered it late in life, and I think that's great because I think startups do better when the founders or the directors are later matured in life. My grandmother, my maternal grandmother had groceries all over Langa and in the township days, and in those days it was hard. You know, those days it was still the apartheid legacy. And for a woman to own that was unheard of. For a woman to have franchises in Langa and Guguletu and Khayelitsha in the Western Cape, that was unheard of in those days. I saw that that she was her own businesswoman. I saw that how she was uplifting and empowering the community. I saw how she was still a mother and raising her own children, and still a wonderful praying wife to her husband. Those are the things that I've always wanted to emulate. Those were the kind of values and morals and ethic that I've been brought up with. And not to say that I'm a saint, okay? I ain't no saint. I've made many a mistake. in my life. I've heard many people, I've disappointed my parents, I've grown up.
Yeah.
But I know that with that comes wisdom, with that comes a coming of age where things are becoming more clear, and why I had to go through those hurdles and those painful moments and those decisions that have made me a better person.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that when I've got problems today in my life, my mother is definitely the woman that I speak to just for a great bouncing board, but I don't want to disengage completely that a daddy and her girl have got a special bond that is unbreakable. I think it's such a blessing for me to have both aspects of my parents, that I'll always be my father's daughter, but my mother has raised me to be a woman of substance and a woman of value and a woman of vision, and I pray for that blessing every day.
That just gave me goosebumps there, I'm not gonna lie.
Promise.
I'm not even joking. So let's speak to that a bit. So I'm thinking about someone that doesn't have the role models that you had growing up. What did you say to them? What advice would you give to them growing up? Do they have to read books? What do they have to do to cultivate such character?
I deal a lot with disadvantaged kids, no matter where they are, whether they're in school or not in school, whether they are illiterate or literate, whether they are fully abled or not abled. So I deal with them in the full spectrum, whether it's abuse, no matter what form or size or shape they come in, I deal with those kind of kids. Spiritually damaged, physically damaged mostly all the time, emotionally damaged mostly all the time, and I feel that I have to give them a sense of hope and a sense of faith and a sense that life and the world has not given up on them, that life is what you make it, no matter what your past circumstances have been. And Kay, I've realized that I have come from a place of privilege then and now, and that's why I have to give. You know, I know some of the people who do great work out there have come from a place of being broken, and have come from a place where they had no love and they know what being poor was and all of that. Yes, we had no money, but I was rich in many other things. And I think that separates me as an adult from a lot of people who claim to be successful. That I've got something that money cannot buy, and I know that is a privilege that I have to show kids that they too can have that. And it's not about tangible things in life, it's about what your blueprint is, what you do with your life for the next person, and sometimes things are bigger than you in this life. So that's what I really want, I have to impart. I think that I'm here to do something very big. It's not always easy. I struggle with myself. I'm a human being, you know, who is definitely not perfect and never tries to be. And that's why vulnerability is something that I'm very comfortable with. That I don't have all the answers. I don't want to know all the answers, Kay.
Speak to that. Why would you say that? I think that's quite profound what you said.
Because gosh, I'm here to learn from everything and everyone. I'm here to grow. I'm here to impact. But I'm here to self-actualize. I'm here to have self-discovery. And life is a journey.
That's so true.
And a foregoing journey. And as artists, we have a duty to tell those stories of the imperfect world that we live in, but raise solutions and senses of hope and create life where life doesn't exist, and that's figuratively speaking.
I think that's so well said, and I say that because the big thing that stands out for me is we all have a story. But it seems like your story was so unique in the sense that you took upon this identity of, I need to make a change. I need to help. I need to serve. And I actually want to know, how did you get to that point where you realized this is what I'm supposed to do. Because I'm imagining someone that they don't have any sort of sense of purpose. They don't have any sense of yearning to go out and be the best they can be because they don't know what it is. So how did you get to that point of service? How did you know deep down that that's something that you always wanted to do?
In high school, I've always been a people's person and treated everyone fairly and with humility. And I don't say I was necessarily the popular girl in school, but everybody knew who I was because I made time for everyone and accepted them as they were and who they were. And that's a character of mine that I still do have. Yeah. You know, I've got time for everybody. You know, I give people time to be themselves. And people value that. People want to be heard. Okay? You know, people want to know that they matter. That they have a space. Yeah. That we all need validation. When I knew about service in my life, I was 21 years old. I dropped out of UCT, wanting to be an actress. Yeah. Obviously to the dismay and horror and shock to my parents. But that's why I also believe in following your heart. Because I was like, I studied to be an ambassador or a politician. I studied third world politics and law because I believe in that justice, and I believe in politics is our lives. It's what we do. It's the people, you know. Yeah. And I'm still doing that today, but I don't necessarily wear the undergraduate hat, and that's okay with me. When I knew that I was playing an HIV positive role, and I accepted that it wasn't given to me, I knew my life would change forever. That it wasn't mine anymore. I knew that God didn't want me just to be on television. And funny enough, Kay, every single role that I've done, there's a big message behind it. And I'm actually only realizing this 20 years in my career, that really roles that have come to me, not that I go chase. Yeah. There's a society, and there's justice, and there's equity, and there's equality in those messages and in those roles. Yeah, yeah. Globally. Work on. Yeah. And they say with great responsibility comes power, great power comes responsibility. I don't know which way it goes, but that's the case.
Totally sure.
That's the case.
So again, one of the things that you've mentioned is that, you know, you're in this position, you went to UCT, you decided to drop out.
Yes, I did party, okay.
She did party, guys. She did party.
I did party. I told you I'm no saint. Please don't get me wrong. I know how to have fun. Yeah, yeah. Listen, I partied. Dude, I was playing pool and people were running to lectures. Okay, so I'm going to admit, I mean, gosh, you know, I'm not trying to walk the holy moly path. Yeah, yeah. Because I'm not that kind of person. Yeah. You know, I know how to have a good time. I know how to get down. And that was... I still do that, but when I was young, I did it hard and I did it proper. And that's the journey I had to walk, you know what I mean? Yeah. Thank goodness that I bore a conscience because I didn't just fall out of varsity to go and like do nothing with my life. Yeah. I wanted to go and be an actor, not be famous. Okay. I wanted to go and be I saw Isidingo and I saw Sharon, I was like, I can do that. Yeah. Next thing I'm in Joburg and there I am sitting in a house as Nandipa, you know. I've got a great work ethic and that comes from a very young age because, you know, when your grandmother and your mother are running groceries, what are you doing on weekends as a schoolgirl? You're there being the packer, you're there at the shop working, you know, being a packer, you know, cash till, you know, you name it, I did it, you know. So I've got a very good work ethic. I know what it means to, as a teenager, not have a weekend because you're at the shop working, you know, like the Greeks and the Portuguese and the Jews, you know what I mean? All working, all the kids in the shop are working. Yeah, yeah. So I think that has really worked in my favor as a professional. Yeah. And really what I've learned is that you've got to have a teachable spirit in life. You know, you've got to be able to learn and pick up things and grow and create and learn new skills. And unfortunately for us as artists in this country, work is not consistent. So I found myself in a space whereby I had to diversify, and as black women we have to diversify, you know, economically, to pay them bills, you know. So it's tough. It's a juggling act. It's hustle, and I don't mind the word hustle.
Yeah.
But it's about really being creative about making money.
Yeah. Excellent. Let's actually speak about hustle. So tell me about the first job that you went into, and you've obviously owned it. You owned the role. Let's speak about Isidingo. That's what I'm referring to. Over there. How did that actually manifest? How did that come about? Your first role.
Well, I saw a role on television at varsity. I'm like, hey, I can do that. Then my cousin was a DJ at YO FM, so I already had links and hookups. I came to Joburg in December. I slept on his couch. I'm like, hey man, I'm not going back. I waitress. I'm not afraid of hard work. That's one thing about me. I waitress. I was sitting on the couch. I went through the yellow pages back then. You can see how old I am. went through the yellow pages. Saw the agent. I made an appointment. I sat with this woman. She's still my agent today.
Fantastic.
I said, I don't have an experience, but I know I've got what it takes to be an actress, and I can make a change in the industry. That's what I said to her at 21. Dropping out of varsity at 21 years old. I went for an audition. I got a 3-month part that turned into 10 years.
That's remarkable.
But what I wish I did better is that 10 years of being on a soapy, I blew that money. I blew it.
Okay.
And I realize now by being financially savvy and trying to be a financial educator that retirement doesn't start at 45. The retirement savings, you should start at the beginning of your salary when you get your first salary. And those are the things that I really want to impart with young artists today, okay? Because as you know, we die as paupers. And that's not good enough for me. So I'm really trying to instill a sense of financial literacy as artists, and thinking of yourself as a business. Because we are that. We're not just talented people, you know what I mean? You're a PTY Ltd. But those were the best 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
My HIV and activism work, that's my life's work. It opened up doors for me that God opened up doors for me that no man can close. I've cried many tears in the business, but I had to, because that gives me a thick skin. And it makes me resilient. And it makes me tenacious. And it makes me patient.
Beautiful. If you don't mind, let's go to those challenges where you cried, and because I feel, you know, we need to sort of put into context as to what exactly happened. So someone that has a similar experience, or might be slightly different, they would know how to get over those challenges. So what is the thing that you either said to yourself while going through that, and that got you out of that, or how exactly did you come over those challenges?
Sometimes when I didn't get roles that I really, really thought like, they were made for me. Sometimes when I was at work and I felt that I didn't belong. Sometimes when I felt at work that I didn't fit in certain production houses and certain series and certain, I was doing it for the money, and I knew that, but I had to. Because I had to survive. And my prayer now is through all of those things that God keep away from me things that are not meant for me. Keep away from me people that are not for me. And let me have discernment and strength to walk away and let it go, you know. I understand the honor in doing something to feed your family. And working for crumbs. I understand that. We've done that. I've done that. I can't say we've done that. And how much honor that takes as a man or a woman. But we learn from those things, and that really does mold us and build us into character. And knowing now what my worth is and what my value is, and that it's not easy, but I never said I'd give up. I never said this is not for me. I said maybe I don't want to do it for now. Why is this happening to me? But I never stopped. I've been fired. I've been hired. I've been constructively dismissed. You know those things. I've been made to feel like I was not my worth. And that's part of growing up. That's part of being in the industry that's so cutthroat. But I thank God for those experiences, Kay. I really do, because Right now, I'm really settled in who I am and my value and my worth and my contribution and my talent as an actress.
Fantastic. And I think the fact that you mentioned that you know your worth, I think so many people feel the opposite.
Yeah.
They don't know their worth, they don't know their value. How would you say, how can we create a sense of value, a sense of worth? How would one do something like that?
I think it really takes time, these things. When enough is enough for you, for the individual, when you're actually tired of doing things for less than you want or for free all the time, you can't carry on like that. You can't continue with that. And what I've learned to say now, that I'm very charitable, but I'm not a charity. Because people will take what they can from you until you put your foot down.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make me a hard person. It just makes me own who I am, And I think also being a giver and a generous spirit, I've had to say no and stop and shut down and refuel, because you can't give what you don't have.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Spiritually.
Yeah.
Especially with the kind of work that I do where it's very energy. I'm a very energy person. So you can take that, it can be toxic, it can claim you, and you just got to protect your energy.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Just to be able to be at your best.
Yeah.
And be you and be unique in your space.
Beautiful, hey? And I think everyone knows, whenever somebody comes into contact with you, the first thing they speak about is your energy. That's really the big thing over there. And how would you say, how do you maintain that? How do you recuperate? How do you, the next day, how do you get that going again? Is it something that you do physically?
Absolutely. I believe in positive energy. I believe in energy vibes. I believe in intuition.
Yeah.
But as I say, that shutting down and closing off the day, knowing that it's me time, it's gym time, it's cooking time, it's reading time, it's wine time.
Yeah.
It's wine time, it's hubby and I time.
Yeah.
I need that sacred space. It's worship time, whatever it is, it's just got it for me to reconnect with myself again. So I can get back tomorrow and be at my best. Because I know what it is to burn out. I know what it is to have anxiety and stress and be ill.
Yeah.
Because you are not giving back to you.
Oof.
You're just giving, and you're depleting yourself,
Totally.
And I find that the great outdoors always reminds me that everything has its timing in life. Everything has its purpose in life. And play the game at your own pace.
That's so profound. Hey? And I say that because not many people... So people might know that intellectually, that we all have a different game that we play. But I think experientially, they don't really understand that, because they're always comparing.
I know.
That person's doing a lot better than me.
I know.
Same age as me.
It comes with so naturally.
It does.
You actually have to stop yourself. And that's okay too. You actually have to stop yourself from doing that, because I think you are undermining yourself and your individuality and your uniqueness.
Yeah.
And you're stealing away your joy. Your own joy of what you've accomplished and what you're doing with your life. By comparing yourself and your journey to somebody else's. It's so easy to do that, because I do that as well, all the time. But you've got to just take a step back and say, this is what I'm supposed to do right here, right now.
Yeah.
Even if you have to write it in the mirror in the morning, it's just the first thing you see. Thank goodness I follow great people on social media and great institutions on social media who really do penetrate those kind of positive motivational quotes.
Yeah.
That I see it when I need it, and it just brings me back to Hlubi.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And again, I think the environment shapes who you are, and so you spoke a bit about that in terms of how, whether it's social media, that's still your environment, and so you're getting the positivity from there. And I think that's so important, is to have some routine or something to fall back on.
I know.
And is there anything else that you would like to speak to for that, for people that really feel, they don't have anything to fall back on? Is there anything which you would like to just give them advice on?
I really believe in nothing can replace a hard work ethic. Nothing. And success doesn't come to you playing alone. Success comes from teamwork and collaborations. You can't do anything and be successful by yourself anymore. I believe in that. You have to work with people. I believe in being authentic in life. I believe in gratitude in life.
Yeah.
I think great things come from a space of gratitude.
Yeah. What does that do for you?
It's abundance. When you're happy and you're grateful and thankful for the little that you have, you're opening the floodgates of more greatness to come to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And happy people don't wish for big things. They're just happy because with what they have. And that opens up avenues of prosperity. And those prosperity for me doesn't mean that we all are driving or having these super mega yachts.
Yeah.
It's opportunity and creating opportunity. And opportunity is coming to you, okay? That's for me is what prosperity. That there's never a moment whereby I'm shut off from potential.
Yeah.
And that's prosperity for me, and I love that, and abundance. So gratitude is everything for me. You have to work hard. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah.
Is life. I've got a very strong faith system as well. So whether you kneel, pray, or bow, or go to church, or mosque, or synagogue, or to the temple, for me, a source of I'm something that's bigger for me than me. A creator is mandatory.
Yeah, yeah.
Love, honor, integrity, compassion.
Let's actually pick up on that. How would you define love? What is love for you?
God is love.
And let's take it a step further. What is God for you?
Spirit.
And how? Is there anything that you feel?
And that can be man, woman. That can be black, white. That can be adult, child. It's spirit. I have very close friends who believe in different gods, but I believe that gods are the rivers that take us to the sea. It's one love. So that's why I'm like, whether it's he, she, child, it's love and it's spirit. Okay.
Were you always in tune with that side in terms of spirituality, or was it something that you had to cultivate as well?
I grew up in a Methodist church, so that was pretty hectic as a child, but I felt the presence of God throughout my life. And I think as an adult, and you see the world around us, and you see what's happening, and especially the spaces in which I operate, which can be very depressing, because I deal with a lot of dark issues. Yeah. And I deal with a lot of hurt and broken people. That has been a source of strength for me to be able to do the work that I do. It's a relationship that I have. It's not a religion. And sometimes it's very private. And sometimes it can be completely shared. Yeah. But it's a non-negotiable part of who I am. Yeah. Especially the older that I get, I realize how more important it is. Yeah, yeah. And how much more I want to be more connected and more connected and more connected as I grow older.
Excellent. I'm feeling all of this.
Are you? Promise.
Promise.
Are you with me?
I'm with you. I'm feeling you.
Promise.
Let's go back to the gratitude thing. So, do you have a gratitude journal?
I try to, that's discipline. Christmas, you must write what you're thankful for every night. And I start on Monday. Tuesday, I'm like, I've got it here, Oprah.
Yeah, it's all
I've got it here. I try to do it everywhere I go. Like, oh my God, I've never gone to bed hungry. My car's never been repossessed. My parents are still alive. My siblings are still around. Yes, I've gone through a lot of pain and hurt, whatever, but that's life. But this is what I'm grateful for, I've got the full use of my limbs, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc.
And I think most people, one of the questions that always pop up is, Kaelan, I can only write so much about what I'm grateful for. But I think, when you're more in tune with life itself, you can be grateful for a glass of water,
I know.
for a blanket,
For waking up in the morning. You know?
And so I think it's a phenomenal habit to take part, just to impart in your life, because it really transforms. And I'm speaking from experience.
Really, as well.
That's truly what I've lived by.
Really?
Is gratitude.
Is it?
And truly has been transformational. Really has been. Great. So, you've been ranked as the top 100 most sexiest women.
That was like 20 years ago. That was all wrong. So FHM, I mean, that magazine doesn't even, it's not even in existence anymore. Gosh.
But I mean, what a title to have though. How did that catch you by surprise? How did that come about?
I work hard for this body, dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
We work hard.
Yeah.
I know what it takes, especially as we age as women, as age as human beings. It's harder and harder to be in the condition that you want to be in.
Yeah.
I worked hard. I've always been active. I've always been sporty. I think it was also a nice juxtaposition for the HIV character that I was playing. That you can still look fantastic. And be clear and be seen as an HIV positive ambassador. You know what I mean? I like that psychology of it. I just feel that it's also part of my brand. To really just not to have the perfect physique, but just to take the time to work on what is important to me, and part of that is not to be thin, but is to be fit in mind, in spirit, in emotion, and in intelligence, and as a businesswoman. That's what I want my fitness to represent.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. And I see that. One of the big aspects of your life is fitness.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people say you can tell a lot by someone by the morning routine that you would do. Talk us about your morning routine. Is there anything, does fitness fall into that in the morning? When do you train? And when I say routine, I don't mean your actual exercising routine.
Yeah.
I mean, from your waking up, do you then go into your gratitude immediately, then exercise? What exactly do you do?
It changes every single day, but one thing is consistent for 365 days a year is I wake up in the morning and I worship and I pray. That's the first thing I do. Actually, I lie. I look at the phone.
All of us do. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's bad, man.
It is a bad thing.
I'm like, what's going on in the world? Come on, guys. And then I think it's too much like drama, and then I go pray. I'm like, oh my God, Jesus, make me strong for this day ahead.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going into this. That's what I pray for.
That's fantastic.
But prayer, meditation, worship, like 10, 15 minutes. That's a non-negotiable in my morning. And then it chops and changes depending on the kind of day I've had. Either go straight to work, or I go through emails, or I train. It depends, It's different every day. Yeah.
So what would you say, why, firstly, should everyone be training? Should everyone be, going to, whether it's CrossFit, gym, or whatever it is, should they be looking after the body? And also why? What's the reason for that?
I really believe that it's not about going to gym or CrossFit, because that instills like people. Not everyone likes that kind of.
Exactly.
I really like saying that just activity. Whether you swim or walk the dogs or go. I don't know, whatever, yoga. Just something that really gets the blood moving, because I really think it's important for the spirit and the mind, and also health reasons. Basically, fundamentally, it's just basically health reasons. For me, it's thank goodness I'm athletic, so it's always been part of my life. And thank goodness I married a man who is also a lover of sports, so I'm blessed in that aspect. If my kids turn out not to be like that, I'm okay with that. It's actually it's a journey. Do you know what I mean? But it's not about being, the best at whatever sport. I just want them to realize that activity is something that nobody can take away from you, and it's beneficial to your life as a whole. It helps become a better student, a better businesswoman, a better anything in life. I really do believe that. And it doesn't matter, I think the younger you start, the better, but it's never too late to start. And as I say, I'm a personal trainer as well. And as I say to people that you have your own journey, don't compare your journey to somebody else. Set yourself your own goals. You know what I mean? And we are all unique. So do what's going to make you feel good about you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And just try and be the better version of yourself. That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah.
For me, it's also genetics and DNA. I'm blessed with that as well. But with the onset of motherhood, my body's going to change. You know what I mean? It's going to be even harder to train again. But thank goodness I really have a great foundation of it being a consistency in my life. And that's a habit that I've formed over decades.
Yeah.
But I know that a six-pack and abs for days, you know what I mean, is not my priority anymore. Our priorities change as we grow older, and as females especially when you want to be a mom. So we're all in our different spaces in our lives, and you've got to consider that when you talk about health and fitness.
Brilliant. And there's a quote that comes to mind. It says, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And so what I've sort of visualized and felt is, because you're very disciplined in your activity, fitness, I would imagine it's transferable. So therefore you'll be disciplined in your business life.
Absolutely.
Is that true?
I think that most sports teach you that as a child. And that's what I love about sports. It's not the activity, it's actually what they teach you. And for me, it teaches discipline, and commitment, and teamwork, and never giving up, and being a good loser, and being a good sport.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's those different types of people. The one who doesn't clap when you win, and the one who's your biggest supporter throughout it all. Yeah. So that's very important, and that says a lot. And I call that sports psychology. Yeah. And I believe in those things.
Excellent. It's actually quite funny. I actually studied sports psychology.
Did you? Am I talking rubbish?
100%. Spot on.
Is that the truth?
100%.
Is it?
It is.
So I'm on the right track?
Definitely. So let's take a bit of a turn. So let's speak about your hubby. You guys are mad in love. It's evidence.
It's my bestie.
How guys meet?
Oh gosh, we were both dating other people.
Oh, is it?
And then we're like, yeah, we were both seeing other people, and then those relationships ended. And what was nice is that we were friends with the same crowd of people, which was cool. So it was easy for us to know and find out about each other.
Yeah.
And it's been almost 18 years.
Gee.
3 years of marriage. And Kay, yes, it's rough, it's tough, it's hard. You have to work for your marriage. Work at your marriage, just like I work at my body to look this good. The marriage is just another thing that you have to put in the hours and the effort and the discipline.
Yeah.
Make time for your man. Make time for your wife. You know what I mean? Oh. It's not going to just happen, So those are the things I've learned, and that I think I consider him nothing more and everything more, than he's my best friend. There's no flaws, no graces. He's my bestie, and I think that's what's made it work. Yeah, is that he's just my boy, and just after almost 18 years, I still miss him when he's not around. He's still the best person to go with and party and work and train, and we share a lot of common things. Yeah. But we're separate people. We've got our individual goals and our individual careers, and I like that, But we share our faith. We share our morals, we share our ethics, and we share our outlook on the world. Yeah. And what South Africa and people in our life mean to us. So I think, it's cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
That's quite interesting. Would you say, and that was my next question, is what are the things that we need to look out for people wanting to find love or wanting just to have a lifetime partner? what are the things that they should be looking for, or should they look, or just be open to experiencing? What's your take on that?
I think first you've got to be happy with yourself before somebody else can make you happy.
Oh.
And I can't profess to know because I haven't been in that space where I know that a lot of people are looking for companionship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm very blessed to have found that person. But I really think that love will come to you once you have loved yourself and know who you are. You know, it's two wholes that make the perfect unit. You know, and I believe that you can't go find fulfillment in something that you don't have in yourself. I was very a solid person when I met Kirsten, and he was. Yet together we really make something that's bigger than us, and I think that's what it's all about, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I can say to that. Be true to yourself and who you are, knowing that. Listen, there are things about me that I have to sacrifice because of my marriage and because of my relationship, and it's about growth and growing together and as individuals. But that's part of it. But that's what love is all about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You do things for each other and for one another, and I think that's very important.
So.
But we're still very much our own people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not a shadow of who he is, and he's not a shadow of who I am. Yeah, I'm still very much Hlubi and he's Kirsten, but we're the best of friends, and I think that's a great foundation. Must be your best friend.
Yeah. Again, you know, I think a lot of people that when we speak about marriage or lifetime partners, they think, you know, there's this oneness where literally
you lose yourself.
That's it.
No, you can't. And you know what? It's not all about marriage. I mean, each to their own. Life partners, living fat and sit, whatever makes you happy. The best thing that you can do for yourself is listen to that little voice within and listen to that instinct. I believe in intuition. And when something is right, you know that it's right. And something is wrong, you're not paranoid.
Yeah.
You know, there is something negative or that's bad energy.
Yeah.
You know, listen to that voice, that little voice talking inside.
Would you say listening to that voice, and I'm speaking from experience now, sometimes it is very hard for me to listen to that. It's a tiny voice.
I know.
How do you get to that point of, you know what, you honor that voice? How do you get to that?
Because when I don't listen, it has kicked me up the ass so badly, and I'm like, and you knew it.
Yeah.
You knew it, okay? You knew it. And they were like, you didn't listen.
Exactly.
You know, over and over and over and over again. So
life will teach you.
Yeah, life will teach you, baby.
Yeah.
Life will teach you.
Great. So let's come to a bit of an ending. I always ask about 2 questions at the end. Okay. So, what advice would you give to the younger version of you, knowing what you know now?
OMG.
Could be anything.
Stop questioning the righteous crown you will always wear and have always worn through the disappointments and the mistakes and the failures. Stop questioning that. It is what it is. Embrace change, your growth, but don't lose who you are. Hlubi, don't lose who you are.
Oh my word. I felt that. Thank you so much.
I needed to actually say that to myself. It was deep. Gonna make me cry, baby.
Before I ask my last question, is there one particular book that has transformed your life, or is just relevant in your life at the moment that has helped you to reach the next step in your life?
Can I bring it out?
Please do.
You hold it. It's called Lift As You Rise by Umtade Bonang Mohale. Now, I met Umtade before he was the CEO of Business Leadership SA on my digital platform called Future CEO. It was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I bumped into him again while he was giving a keynote speech as the CEO of Shell and Pfizer. So he knows what leadership is.
Yeah.
And what I love about him and why I bought this book, because I feel like I'm at a point in my life that things are happening for the good. And I can feel it. You know, people say it's happening, but you don't see it or feel it. I don't feel it. But I've always been somebody who I am an encourager, and I uplift people, and I want to see people reach their full potential.
Yeah.
So this book really resonated with me, and it really speaks to about being other-centered. It really speaks about vulnerability is the biggest asset of a leader. It really speaks about human potential and human capital. And it really speaks about human development, and those words are synonymous with Hlubi Mboya Arnold. So it was a no-brainer for me buying that book. I'm the kind of reader that if I know this book is that I'm going to take action on this book, I'm like pen and highlighter.
Okay.
You know, I'm even going to his book launch tonight because you just want to be in spaces of people, in those kind of spaces. He's highly energetic. And he's tiny, so we've got another two things going on. He's a big on family, and I'm big on family.
Yeah.
And the things, you know what, it's not about what you say about yourself, Kate, it's about what other people say about you. And he's got really, really powerful, influential people writing such great little notes about the kind of leader and the kind of person and the kind of father and the kind of man that he is. That's where I'm at, right here, right now.
Fantastic. So, are you ready for my last question?
Last question, dude. I'm hungry.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
What legacy would you like to leave behind?
And I always say this. If I know that at least one person has breathed easier because I have lived, that is success to me. Let me keep it generic and consistent. That's what I say.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
There's nothing cooler than being in a situation where it doesn't even feel that there are cameras in the room. And that's what Kaelan brought to this environment. It's really cool when you can feel that the questions are not structured, that he's actually asking them as they come up, and that's conversational style. He's actually listening to what I'm saying, and that it's a two-way process. As you've heard in the interview, I have a great knack for positive energy and real energy and great energy, and that was the situation here on him here.